Angie'sList.com.
19 years ago, we thought, wow, how is there no way to tell the good from the bad? So we gave people the power of the review. And now Angie's List is revolutionizing local service again. You can easily buy and schedule services from top-rated providers. Conveniently stay up to date on progress and effortlessly turn your photos into finished projects with our SnapFix app. Visit Angie'sList.com today.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with Canine Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. Canine Advantix 2, for the love of dogs.
Can't stop me, no, you can't stop me. Can't stop me, no, you can't stop me.
You want to save money on car insurance? No problem. You want to save money on RV insurance? No problem. You want to save money on motorcycle insurance? No problem. You want to find a place to park all these things? Forget about it. This is New York.
Hey, little guy, wake up!
Oh, come off it, Mike.
Geico. Saving people money on more than just car insurance.
When your favorite food starts a fight, fight back fast with Tums. Relief that neutralizes acid on contact and goes to work in seconds. And now, try great tasting Tums Chewy Delights. Yummy.
Hey, pal. You ready? Can you pick me up at 6:30?
I'm here.
Too late.
I'll go for 5 minutes. Move it. Killing me. You know what, Dad? I'm good.
It may be quite a while before he's ready, but our Subaru Legacy will be waiting for him.
The longest-lasting midsize sedan in its class. Introducing the all-new Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
From residential to commercial, from large loss to emergency response. Whenever damage strikes, call on the cleanup team that's faster to any size disaster at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
Until the conversation turned, until the sun went down, and many fantasies were there. On that day, keep feeling fascination.
Why do you want a tablet that has free data virtually anywhere you go?
All right, now watch.
What's that?
That is a Tot-Line hitch.
What's that?
Oh, that's the yellow warbler.
Wow. What's that?
That is poison ivy.
Oh.
I put it in my mouth.
Because you need to know what you're getting yourself into. While you're getting yourself into it. Get the Trio tablet powered by T-Mobile. Just $179 with free data for life. The tech you want. Only at Walmart and Walmart.com.
Welcome back. We want to get the very latest on Estelle now. Already impacting Hawaii as we speak with some heavy rainfall. Winds of 75 miles per hour in the center of Estelle. And its location, the center of the storm, about 90 to 95 miles east-southeast of Hilo, Hawaii, on a westerly track that would take it into the Big Island here in the next several hours. So on the phone with us right now, Coralie Matayoshi with the American Red Cross in Hawaii. Coralie, thank you so much for taking time out to talk with us. Obviously, you've got shelters open. You're ready for people. How much room do you have?
Well, we have 11 shelters open on the Big Island right now with a population of about 500 people. We have 8 open on Maui, and there's about 20 people. We just opened that a couple of hours ago. And then on Oahu, we're ready to open 10 shelters at 10 p.m. tonight as the storm is moving westward.
So if people are thinking about taking advantage of your shelters, what should they bring or not bring with them?
Well, we don't allow alcohol or weapons or anything like that. And, of course, they should bring their essential medications, food, water, enough for a few days, and just come ready to bear the storm out. That's what our shelters are for.
And I'm guessing that the folks there on the Big Island need to be making that decision pretty quick here about whether they're going to take advantage of your shelters. You don't want them to wait till the last minute, I assume.
Right. The biggest winds are supposed to hit later on tonight, but that's why about 500 people have already gotten into the shelters.
And how do people find the locations? Do they need to go online?
They're well publicized. We've been putting it out in social media and the media. They can also go to our shelter app of the American Red Cross at redcross.org, and it's really easy to find the nearest shelter near you. And it'll also indicate whether their pets are allowed as well.
Ah, good. Yeah, that's a good thing to note as well. Obviously, they need to do that while they still have electricity and do it pretty fast. Coralie, we thank you so much, and we wish you the best there in Hawaii. Stay safe, and we encourage you to encourage everyone else to keep staying safe as well. All right, let's bring it back to the 48 states. Some storms have been going on in the Midwest, Chris.
Yes, they have, Nick, and we're going to take a look at the Midwest storms. That storm threat ongoing right now in the Midwest. This is a look right now from the plains with storms all the way over into Arkansas, Missouri, and into parts of Illinois and Indiana, dealing with some of these showers and storms right now. Closer look. Here's Interstate 70, Dodge City. You're about to see some of the stronger storms heading your way. Some heavy rain, could have some gusty winds associated with that as well. St. Louis right now, most of the storms are off to the east, and they're moving away from St. Louis at this time and about to get a little bit of light rain into Indianapolis. This is a look right now at what the computer shows us the radar and the satellite will look like. So the rain and the clouds going through time overnight tonight and into tomorrow. Still that chance for some showers. Wichita, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, throughout St. Louis. Once again, you're still going to have that chance for showers right through the day tomorrow. But again, these are showers. They're hit and miss. They come and they go. But at times they could be a big-time rain producers. Looking at the potential of 1 to 2 inches in some of these areas, picking up quite a bit of rain. And that is going to lead to the potential of some localized flooding. So you have to watch out for that. And you might have to get the windshield wipers really going too. Thunderstorm clusters are going to move to the southeast through the weekend. And we're going to look at that chance for storms lingering from the Midwest to the southeast. This red here, that's where there is the highest probability of some of the stronger storms. But scattered storms here, really from the plains all the way over to the Ohio Valley. That's going to take you Saturday into Sunday. Many of the same spots dealing with storms day after day. St. Louis, chance for showers or thunderstorms. They're going to be hit and miss tomorrow, again on Saturday. And on Sunday, temperatures staying warm in the mid-80s, but looking a little bit nicer. Nick?
Well, Chris, of course, the big story this hour, Hurricane Iselle. It's nearing the Big Island of Hawaii with maximum winds of 75 miles per hour. The Big Island under a hurricane warning even as we speak. We have special live coverage all night right here on the Weather Channel as we look live here at Hilo, anticipating more rain and wind and waves.
You're finally here. Long way from the Sandlot. First game in the majors? You don't know ARP because this family is enjoying a cross-country baseball stadium trip they planned online at AARP Travel. It's where your journey begins with inspiration, planning, booking, and hot travel tips from real pros. If you don't think seize the trip when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Find more surprising possibilities and get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
I'm Creek Stewart, Weather Channel survival expert. Every Sunday night, we're taking 3 regular guys deep into the woods.
Are you serious?
Where we'll teach them not just to survive,
make fire,
but how to truly live.
Look at this caveman.
Show yourself what you're made of on Weather Channel Survival Sundays. At 9, it's So You Think You'd Survive. Then at 10, Fat Guys in the Woods. Premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Are you ready?
Off the couch, into the weather.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees with showers. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 77. Winds light and variable. Friday, scattered thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
tough clog.
I only have 10 minutes.
I only need 7.
Liquid Plumber Urgent Clear penetrates the toughest clogs with 2 fast-acting gels in only 7 minutes guaranteed, baby.
It's the candy bar that's too hot for TV in all its naked glory. Stripped of chocolate with nothing but salty roasted peanuts on soft, sweet caramel. A Payday bar will get you through your day. Expose yourself to Payday.
Check.
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
How about over there?
What does it mean to have an unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz? What does it mean to drive as far as you want for up to 3 years and be covered? It means your odometer is there to record the memories. During the Mercedes-Benz certified...
Get instant access to the hottest new releases with Xfinity On Demand. Shailene Woodley brings the phenomenon Divergent to life.
If you want to survive, we have to be ready for anything.
I want them hunted down.
Own or rent Divergent anytime and become part of the world of Divergent with the official Divergent iPad movie app. Instantly access your favorite movies by going to Xfinity On Demand and visiting the movies section. Own or rent your favorites with Xfinity On Demand.
The Indian River Lagoon is 156 miles long, representing recreation, fishing, and nearly 20,000 Florida jobs. Last summer, because of dumping in Lake Okeechobee, the lagoon turned green and murky.
I call it a disaster. So we pulled together to stop the dumping with record funding that will protect this vital resource and our jobs.
Joe Negron had it in his heart to do what's right for this lagoon.
It's our future.
Joe Negron coming through for us.
As low as $129 a year. For an agent, call 188-RAIN-914.
Every Sunday night, we're showing 3 regular guys what it takes to survive.
Fat Guys in the Woods, premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Off the couch into the weather.
Okay, welcome back for our special coverage here on Hurricane Iselle. Iselle just a few hours away from making landfall on the Big Island of Hawaii. We'll get to that in a minute, but I want to start first by talking about really how unprecedented of an event this is for the Hawaiian Islands. You know, going back into the record, probably 50 or 60 years, we only find 3 cases where you had a hurricane that impacted parts of the archipelago. Take a look at this. Going back to 1959, when we had our really first impact on record from Hurricane Dot. That came from the east, but then curled up from the south. After that, Iwa in 1982, a Category 2 hurricane. It didn't make landfall in Kauai, but it came very close, and hurricane force winds being felt on shore here. And then, of course, for those of you in Hawaii, how could you forget Hurricane Iniki, that very powerful Category 4 hurricane back in 1992 that raked Kauai. But all of these tracks, notice, coming either from the south or from the west, and none of those impacting the Big Island of Hawaii. And now we're dealing with a storm coming from directly from the west, and as I mentioned, probably about 4 to 6 hours away from making a direct landfall. Here's the latest information on Hurricane Iselle from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. This just within the past hour or so. Those winds still estimated at 75 miles per hour. Hurricane force winds begin at 74 miles per hour, so this is right on the edge there, being a hurricane. And pressures 992 millibars. There was a Hurricane Hunter plane that was out there earlier this afternoon, our time, Eastern time, was flying around the center, finding and estimating those pressures. There's another plane that'll be headed out just within the next hour or two, so stay tuned. We're going to bring you that live, with the latest information as it comes to us. Moving toward the west now at 15 miles per hour, so just a little bit more slowly than it was minutes earlier. I'll show you what it looks like on our radar right now. The center of the circulation is right down in here to the southwest of where the strongest storms are, the strongest of the convection, just to the northeast of that center. Not seeing a whole lot in this area. That's because our radars that are on the Big Island here are really being blocked by the very tall mountains, those 14,000-foot peaks over to the east. There are some rain bands over here, though, and you can see some of that rainfall and some of the outer bands already moving in to the windward part into Hilo Bay. Wind gusts there in Hilo already at 30 miles per hour earlier. They've come down a little bit, but the worst of the weather, as I mentioned, really still about 3 to 6 hours away for the Big Island there in Hawaii. Take a look at our water vapor picture. You know, this storm has just been impervious to all of the dry air that's been surrounding it. The dry air indicated by the orange colors here on our map. And you can see that really wrapping all the way around, especially here on the west side of this. And then also some wind shear or some unfavorable winds at the upper levels, but it's sort of protected itself right here. And if anything, it looks like it's maybe gotten a little better organized this evening. And look over here to the east of it. My goodness, another hurricane. This one a very strong hurricane. This is Hurricane Julio. I want to show you what it looks like on our visible satellite picture. This right here is Isel, so take a look at the structure of that. We don't really see the eye on our visible satellite picture. It's being hidden by the taller cirrus cloud tops at the top of the atmosphere, the center of the circulation down beneath it. But if we zoom just to the east of it, I mean, this is almost textbook style in terms of the structure of this pretty symmetrical hurricane. And this is Hurricane Julio. It's the latest information just in. This becoming the fourth major hurricane, major in terms of the winds. That means winds in excess of 111 miles per hour of the Eastern Pacific this hurricane season. Those winds are estimated at 115 miles per hour, the pressure 966 millibars. So you can compare that to the winds and the pressure of Isel to the east, much stronger hurricane. And that one, unfortunately, moving off toward the west at 16 miles per hour. And it could also threaten the Hawaiian Islands here over the next few days. Here is that forecast from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. So you can still see they're forecasting 110 mile per hour hurricane tomorrow afternoon. It will begin to weaken. So that is the good news. We're not expecting this to remain a Category 3 hurricane as it approaches Hawaii later this weekend. But you can see that cone now bending just a little bit to the south. So if you're up here in Kauai, you're here on the left side of the cone. You're going to really want to pay attention to this. This is going to be possible impacts into early next week. Hopefully there is an a NOAA jet that's sampling the atmosphere. They're going to put all that data into the models. So hopefully the forecast will come into line as we get into the weekend. But we'll see. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks so much, Mike. A lot of things to watch here in the coming days.
And of course, we are also keeping an eye on all the live cameras right now in Hawaii, especially right here in Hilo.
And the rain has abated somewhat, the wind too, but there's more to come.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees with showers. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 77. Winds light and variable. Friday, scattered thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
And you're watching extended live coverage of Hurricane Isel, the storm hitting Hawaii for what is a rare and a very serious event.
And we are monitoring live feeds across the islands. Storm tracker Jim Cantori is in Hilo, where some of the strongest winds and the tallest waves, too, are expected. I'm Nick Walker.
And I'm Chris Warren. The people of Hawaii haven't experienced anything like this since 1992, when Hurricane Iniki caused major damage on the islands.
Now, Iniki was a much stronger storm, but Iselle is still a severe weather event. And tonight, shelters are open and the National Guard is on standby. Let's take a look now at what's happening right now in Hawaii. The Hawaii National Guard ready to mobilize emergency planes and helicopters for evacuations. 5,500 troops are ready to go if the governor gives the word.
Transportation officials say all airports are open and say they'll try to keep them open even after Iselle makes landfall. However, almost all flights to and from the islands are canceled at this point.
And all Hawaii public schools and University of Hawaii campuses will be closed on Friday because of Iselle. So let's get the latest now from our hurricane specialist, Michael Lowry, who is continuing to track Iselle as it makes its way toward the west.
Hey, Nick, look, we're only about a few hours away from seeing a direct hurricane landfall on the Big Island of Hawaii. So let's start first with our radar and show you what's happening right now. The strongest of the winds and the most of the rain is to the northeast of where the center of the circulation is, and it's right in here. This is where we're estimating the center to be. Still about 100 miles to the east of the Big Island there of Hawaii, moving off toward the west now. So more than likely it'll be moving over the southern portion of the Big Island here into the Kau district, maybe even into the southern parts of the Kona district. I'm not sure it'll make it that far to the north, but either way, we're talking about a direct landfall and impacts more than likely from the 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Local Hawaiian time. That's when we're talking about this actually moving on shore. But all of the weather here, see all of this, it's going to be moving toward the Big Island, and that's going to be enhanced. All of that rainfall is going to be enhanced by the very tall mountains. Speaking of which, you're not noticing a lot over here on our radar. That's because those tall mountains blocking our radars from seeing what's happening over here. There are some heavy rain bands, then squally weather that moved onshore on the windward side here, just into Hilo and Hilo Bay. Some of those wind gusts about 30 miles per hour there already. Here's the latest information from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. 75 mile per hour estimated winds. The winds really haven't come down at all today. It did show some signs of weakening earlier, but just sort of holding steady this evening. And the pressure is still at 992 millibars. There's going to be a Hurricane Hunter Air Force Hurricane Hunter plane that's going to be in there within the next hour or two. And they're going to bring us the latest information, including the latest pressure estimates and wind estimates. So stay tuned right here to the Weather Channel for that. Moving toward the west at 15 miles per hour, so a little bit more slowly than it was earlier. Here's the depiction on a high-resolution enhanced satellite picture. This goes back about 12 hours or so, and look at the cold cloud tops, the stronger thunderstorms indicated by the red and the orange colors. We weren't seeing a whole lot of that earlier, and the flare-up now, and so it's actually probably a little better organized than it was 12 hours ago, unfortunately, for Hawaii. So we're talking about a hurricane here that's going to be making landfall on the Big Island soon. This, the first time in recorded history that a hurricane will have made landfall in Hawaii. I want to show you on the Big Island. I want to show you here a microwave satellite picture. This is like looking at an MRI into the hurricane. Pretty amazing because it cuts through those very high cloud tops and allows us to see what's happening closer to the surface. So the center probably somewhere in here, and the thunderstorms, you can see the taller cloud tops on the northeast side of the circulation, though it appears that it might be trying to wrap around on the north side of it. So again, still pretty organized hurricane that we're dealing with. All right, let's step through these impacts, especially the rainfall, because look, it's the rainfall to me that's the most concerning impact with this system. We're talking about rainfall on the order of 4 to 8 inches, locally much higher amounts. I mean, upwards of a foot, maybe even higher than that in the very, very high, tall mountains. So what's really driving this in terms of the rainfall and the possible impacts is that wind, because very, very strong winds up against very, very tall terrain, that enhances the rainfall. Let's drive underneath this and dive a little more in depth on this. Anytime you get warm, moist flow from the surface of the ocean moving up terrain, it cools and condenses. that evaporates, that forms the clouds. And then on top of that, you have all the heavy rainfall that's being dumped on these 14,000-foot peaks. And then that's just going to be funneling down the mountains. So then you have to worry about the flash flood threat and the flooding threat to the roads and all the other infrastructure that's here along the mountains. So again, it's the rainfall that's the primary impact, but the winds themselves, that's going to be another impact here. We're going to talk more about that coming up later in the hour. Back to you.
Michael Lowry, thank you. Storm Tracker Jim Cantori has been monitoring conditions on the Big Island all day long.
And he has our report right now from Hilo. Jim?
Well, for the time being here in Hilo, the rain has ended, but we are far from over with this thing. Iselle has not made landfall on the Big Island yet, but it is going to, we think, a little bit later on. Well, we've got the break, though, and the ceilings have lifted a little bit. We can see across Hilo Bay, and obviously looks like a wash tub out there. But once you get away from the protection of the seawall, there are some monster waves on the other side of the bay here. And some of these, I was just talking to a gentleman who came by, and he said, Jim, you know, we're up 75 feet. And he's actually got water from the waves spraying up 75 feet under his deck. So that is absolutely incredible when you think about the spray up that's going on with some of these waves. But we told you that was going to be one of the byproducts, certainly, of Hurricane Iselle. Now, we are also going to see some flooding, I think. Even though it's not raining here, that doesn't mean it's not raining up in the mountains, because all this wind and very moist air is being forced upslope. And as it's forced upslope, that mountain is having to squeeze out the moisture in abundance. So we are getting some situations here, certainly where we're going to see this rain continue to pile up. Plus, we're talking about some power outages. We haven't gusted that hard here, maybe 40 miles per hour where I'm standing, but so far we're below tropical storm force in the sustained winds, and at least right now we are below tropical storm force in the gusts, and hopefully it'll stay that way for a while. But again, the worst part of this storm has not come at us yet. We think that's going to be over the next 2 to 6 hours. So again, after the sun goes down, some of the worst weather certainly expected here on the Big Island, which is when we expect that landfall as well, a historic landfall, whether it be a tropical storm or a hurricane. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jim. And we are going to continue live all night here at the Weather Channel with our special coverage of Hurricane Iselle.
And right now, let's take a live look from Hilo, and storm chaser Reed Timmer is out there, and this is his view right here. And we're looking across the bay from where Jim is right now. Still cloudy scene here in Hilo, Hawaii.
Well, coming up, we are going to go live to Oahu to see what effects that island is seeing right now as we continue to monitor the westward track of Iselle. 75-mile-per-hour winds, still a hurricane.
It's always the same dilemma. Who gets the Allstate Safe Driving Bonus Check?
Rock beats scissors.
Wife beats rock.
And with 2 checks a year, everyone wins.
Switch today and get 2 safe driving bonus checks a year for driving safely, only from Allstate. Call 877-218-2500 now.
Zach really loves his new camera. Problem is, this isn't Zach. It's a friend of a friend who was at Zach's party and stole his camera. But Zach's got it covered with Allstate Renters Insurance.
Protect your valuables for as low as $4 a month when you add renter's insurance to your Allstate auto policy. Call 877-218-2500 now.
What are you doing?
We're switching car insurance.
Why?
Because these guys are the cheapest.
Why?
Good question. Because a cut rate price could mean cut rate protection.
You should listen to this guy.
With Allstate, you get great protection, a great price, plus an agent, and safe drivers can save up to 45%. Call now and see how much you can save.
Just a few more ways Allstate is changing car insurance for good.
Call an Allstate agent and get a quote now.
I'm Creek Stewart, Weather Channel survival expert. Every Sunday night, we're taking 3 regular guys deep into the woods.
Are you serious?
Where we'll teach them not just to survive, but how to truly live.
Show me fire!
Fat Guys in the Woods, premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Off the couch, into the weather.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees with showers. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 77. Winds light and variable. scattered thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now, Hawaii is in the path of 2 severe storms. Our own Jim Cantori is live from the islands tracking this rare threat. Keep it here on the Weather Channel.
Take a deep breath in and exhale. And a gentle wave-like motion. Liberate your spine. And reach. Toes blossoming.
Not that great at yoga.
Yeah, but when I slipped a disc, he paid my claim in just 4 days.
4 days?
Yep.
Find out how fast Aflac can pay you at Aflac.com.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
Some question physics. Some question gravity. And some even have the audacity to question improbability. These are some of the bold new Ram commercial trucks, built to blow your imagination. Guts, glory, Ram.
The waves are already hitting the Big Island of Hawaii well before landfall of Iselle. Iselle could very well make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane, and if it does, it would be the first hurricane to make landfall on the Big Island in recorded history. Yeah, waves, just one of the effects from Iselle, as well as rain, and also we're going to see wind conditions out of this too. So a lot of effects here on the Big Island as we head into tonight. 75-mile-per-hour winds, a central pressure of 992 millibars, moving toward the west at 15 miles per hour. Its location about 90 to 95 miles east-southeast of Hilo, Hawaii right now. And if it continues on this track, it's probably going to make landfall somewhere south of Hilo, but already bringing abundant rainfall into this area. And already we're seeing abundant rainfall even into some of the other islands, as well as some windy conditions too. Winds have been a problem already on the Big Island. We've had some trees down, blocking roadways. Flash flood watches are up for all of the islands, and we'll continue to monitor this, probably making its way across the Big Island here during the nighttime and early morning hours, and then emerging as a tropical storm and staying tropical storm force strength all the way through areas south of the other islands into tomorrow. Chris?
Thank you very much, Nick. And because of all of that, there's all of this. In Honolulu, a lot of people having a hard time getting to where they want to go. A busy scene at the Honolulu airport. And staying in Honolulu right now, we want to go live to just right along Waikiki Beach here. Jennifer Bjorklund is live now in Honolulu. Hello, Jennifer.
Hi, Chris. It has been sort of like a tale of two islands, as you've seen the contrast from where Jim is on the Big Island and here in Oahu. Things have kind of been stirring up, though, the last couple of hours. The clouds have rolled in. The wind has picked up. The rain has started a little bit, and it looks ominous as we look at this storm moving in. But as you know, the Big Island is in the crosshairs. If they're not ready by now, time is running out.
Going to start to experience some hazardous conditions, so if they haven't completed preparations, stop what they're doing, just take refuge inside.
Refuge from a set of hurricanes, the first about to make landfall here in Hawaii. But so are hordes of tourists still coming.
I mean, it's definitely going to impact it, but, you know, you make reservations, you book a place, it's, you know, you got to go.
And on Maui, they are prepared for guests to keep on coming.
We have also brought in food and water, enough to keep the resort replenished for at least a week. And we also have a satellite phone that's in place, ready to roll.
But a hurricane warning is in effect for the Big Island of Hawaii, as most people there are taking shelter. But Casey Jones refuses to leave his boat.
But this is where the storm is going to hit.
Well, what are you going to do? Take off, and where are you going to go? We're on an island.
So folks in the Big Island around the state need to realize that this storm is anticipated to hold together and make a landfall on the Big Island later on today as a hurricane, a low-end hurricane, high-end tropical storm.
That's enough to do significant damage to homes, tear off roofs, but not anywhere near the Category 4 storm Iniki that blasted through Kauai 22 years ago at 200 miles an hour. Still, it's not to be taken lightly.
Says that we're ready to respond and we're ready for the recovery that needs to take place to the degree and extent that it's necessary.
And recovery could mean bailing out from storm surge and flash flooding for days. Now, all anyone can do is wait and hope that all that preparation was enough. I'm Jennifer Bjorklund, live in Honolulu. Chris, now you.
Jennifer, thank you for that. And make sure to stay with the Weather Channel all night as we bring you live minute-by-minute coverage of Hurricane Iselle.
We have our team on the ground and here in the studio monitoring every movement of this storm and the one right on its heels, too. Julio, the timing, the impacts, the latest developments next.
With diabetes, it's tough to keep life balanced. I don't always have time to eat like I should. That's why I like Glucerna shakes. They have slowly digestible carbs to help minimize blood sugar spikes.
Glucerna, the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
How about over there?
What does it mean to have an unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz? What does it mean to drive as far as you want for up to 3 years and be covered? It means your odometer is there to record the memories. During the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales event, now through September 2nd, you'll get complimentary prepaid maintenance and may qualify for a 2-month payment credit, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
At Panera Bread, we fill our freshly baked flatbread with bold, unflat flavors, like taste inspired by the freshness of the Mediterranean. So you always get flavor that's anything but flat. New flatbread sandwiches. Try one today.
I heard you have a tough clog.
I only have 10 minutes.
I only need 7.
Liquid Plumber Urgent Clear penetrates the toughest clogs with 2 fast-acting gels in only 7 minutes, guaranteed, baby.
You're finally here. Long way from the Sandlot. First game in the majors? You don't know ARP, because this family is enjoying a cross-country baseball stadium trip they planned online at AARP Travel. It's where your journey begins with inspiration, planning, booking, and hot travel tips from real pros. If you don't think seize the trip when you think AARP, then you don't know ARP. Find more surprising possibilities and get to know us at aarp.org/possibilities.
Hundreds of amateur astronomers gather at Cherry Springs to catch a glimpse of the stars in the Milky Way. They turn to the Weather Channel forecast to find clear skies and low humidity.
If I were to define the word foodie, I would say it's someone who has great passion and love for food. Cooking is very social. Cooking is very joyful, and I think that needs to be shared with the people that you care most about. One of the biggest reasons that our QVC foodies connect with me is that I meet them where they live. I'm not a chef. I'm a home cook just like they are. And each and every show we're learning together and we're sharing our passion for wonderful food. And I think that's why our relationship is so strong. I'm David Venable, QVC's resident foodie.
8:46 a.m. The attack on the World Trade Center begins.
102 minutes later, the Twin Towers fall,
taking with them the lives of nearly 3,000.
Including 343 firemen.
And 60 police officers.
Stand for your community. Run for our heroes.
Your personal preferences and locking in today's prices.
Request your free burial planning kit now.
Every Sunday night, we're showing 3 regular guys what it takes to survive.
Fat Guys in the Woods, premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Off the couch into the weather.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees with light rain. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 77. Winds light and variable. Friday, scattered thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hurricane Iselle, the 9th named storm in the eastern Pacific, already kicking up the wind. A live look here with Reed Timmer has got his camera set up here in Hilo, and we are watching the waves on the increase. We're seeing the rain again now on the increase in Hilo, and we could see some steady downpours here before very long, along with some steady and gusty winds too. The Pacific has been so incredibly active here this season and continues to be. We've got Super Typhoon Genevieve in the lead, and it's crossed the date line, so it's a typhoon now, followed closely by Hurricane Iselle, and then about 1,000 miles back of that is Hurricane Julio, now the 4th major hurricane in the eastern Pacific, and another area that is being investigated right off the coast of Mexico that could develop as well. But let's concentrate first of all on Hurricane Iselle with 75-mile-per-hour winds. Could very well make landfall here on the Big Island sometime during the overnight hours, probably as a hurricane or at least a high-end tropical storm. 95 miles east-southeast of Hilo, Hawaii is the latest location of the center of that. There's the radar, and we're beginning to see now the rain on the increase, particularly south of the Hilo area, and even in some of the other islands, the rain is becoming a steady downpour. On its track, it will make landfall here and move over the island of Hawaii, the Big Island here, and then emerge as a strong tropical storm, staying tropical storm strength as it makes its way south of most of the islands tomorrow and on into your weekend. Already we see that hurricane warning there on the Big Island. It is the first hurricane warning for the islands in 21 years. Tropical storm warnings for the other islands, and we're anticipating seeing some heavy rainfall, 4 to 8 inches widespread, maybe as much as a foot on the Big Island, particularly up in the highest elevations. 20 to 30 mile-per-hour winds becoming that here in Hilo, and the rain increasing late. We'll see 1 to 2 inches initially, and then overnight 50 to 75 mile-per-hour winds with some periods of heavy rain. Another 2 to 3 inches could fall. And then on Friday, those winds continuing 30 to 50 miles per hour with more rain still accumulating. All right, let's bring it back to the 48 states and show you what's going on southward here.
Yeah, in the mainland here, on the mainland in Atlanta, we've been watching this view right here for some light. There it is, lightning right there on the horizon. There are storms in the distance. This is looking to the southeast here in the southeast of Atlanta. Keeping an eye on the skies because there are some storms around. The pop-up storms are going to be hanging around for days. Southeast storms right through the weekend. Let's start off with a look at where the storms are right now. Here's Nashville, some storms to the east, and you see some of the stronger storms moving through parts of Kentucky right now. And we look around Atlanta, and this is that still seeing some of that lightning a little bit farther. Here's Atlanta, a little bit farther to the south. That's the south. It's getting really farther on the horizon, the camera we were looking at earlier, but still some storms around, producing some lightning. If you hear some thunder out there, not as much of the heavy rain here in South Florida, but around Homestead, still seeing one of the heavier showers at this time. This is a look now going through time, what the radar is going to look like. As said by this computer model. This computer model's depiction of what the radar is going to look like going through time with some clouds on here as well. So seeing some of the rain still hanging around parts of Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and Atlanta once again. Here's tomorrow evening. Still that chance for some showers and some storms. This is the reason why. Here's the setup with the jet stream going through the Ohio Valley and a stalled out front here. and all the moisture coming in, it's all the makings for more of the showers and some thunderstorms right through the weekend. Here's Friday. Red, the best chance for some of the strongest storms, but keeping that chance for some hit or miss thunderstorms right through the weekend. Nick?
Well, Hurricane Iselle bearing down on the Hawaiian Islands even as we speak. The Big Island under a hurricane warning right now. There's a live look at Hilo as the rain has picked up and the winds beginning to pick up as well. But we're going to see a whole lot more where that came from. We'll take you there live.
You don't compromise, and you're never willing to settle. So why are you wearing glasses with just any progressive lenses? See the difference with Verilux, the only progressive lens brand with lenses designed using wave technology. Enjoy smooth transitions and sharp vision at any distance. See your eye care professional about Verilux, the #1 progressive lens brand. Ask for Verilux. Never compromise your vision.
Now save $30 on Verilux when you combine with Crizal and Transitions lenses.
Ask your eye care professional about Transitions signature lenses.
Today we're getting record snowfall.
Radars indicate there's been flooding throughout the area.
We're getting hail the size of golf balls.
Maglite. Turn your light on, America.
I'll take a Moons over my hammy.
Well, for a limited time, we have a new Baja Moons over my hammy with avocado and sun-dried tomato mayo. It's just like the classic, but remixed.
Oh, in that case, I'll take it. What's a remix?
Oh, Grandpa.
Welcome to Denny's.
Under the roof of a home or business, damage can happen. When it does, turn to the specialists who put help in the palm of your hand. The Ready app and emergency response plans from 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
When we got married, we became a family of 5.
Without the time and money to wash all this stuff separately.
So we wash it all in cold water with Tide.
Even Sarah's shorts.
Those are mine.
Seriously?
Throw it all in.
Really?
Because Tide cleans better, even in cold.
What makes Florida's natural orange juice taste so uniquely fresh and delicious? Is it the rich Florida soil or the perfect blend of sunshine, rain, and temperature? Maybe it's the fact that Florida's natural oranges are never imported. They're raised right here in Florida and passed with care from our hands to yours. 100% pure, 100% Florida. Florida's natural. Try our new citrus smoothies in the chilled juice section next to our orange juice.
The sun is setting on summer, but there's still time for one more adventure. Make sure your car's up for it with great summer deals from Pep Boys. Right now, get a do-it-yourself oil change just $15.99. Or let the boys do it for you with our conventional oil change just $21.99. And choose from one of our top-of-the-line Pro Stop do-it-yourself brake pads. Or save $50 instantly with a 2-wheel precision match brake service. Keep your car and your summer going strong. Trust the boys to get you there.
Huh. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that words really can hurt you?
What?
Jesse, don't go! Jesse, no!
I'm sorry, Daisy, but I'm a loner, and a loner's gotta be alone.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
When it's hot outside, it can get dangerously hot inside your car. So this summer, make sure you look before you lock. The Weather Channel proudly supports kidsincars.org in their efforts to implement safety measures to protect our children. For more information and to show your support, go to weather.com/TV today.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees with light rain. Overnight, mostly cloudy, low 77. Winds light and variable. Friday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Every Sunday night, we're showing 3 regular guys what it takes to survive.
Fat Guys in the Woods, premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Off the couch into the weather.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
And you're watching live extended coverage of Hurricane Iselle. We've been tracking it for days now, and now Hawaii is already feeling the impact.
And we are looking live right now, 3 different vantage points in Hilo, Hawaii on the Big Island. This is what it looks like right now. We can see a couple of still cameras and one camera. That's Reed Timmer's camera on the move right now.
And here's the latest conditions now on Iselle. This is what it looks like. We've got 75-mile-per-hour winds out there, and it's still a Category 1 hurricane.
We want to thank you for joining us and watching Weather Center Live. I'm Chris Warren.
And I'm Nick Walker. What's happening right now in Hawaii is a very rare and dangerous weather event. People there taking it seriously.
And here's the very latest right now, a look at what is happening on the islands. The governor of Hawaii warning residents, do not drive if you absolutely do not have to. Already reports of waves starting to wash up over the roads on the Big Island of Hawaii and some trees down on roads.
The Hawaii National Guard is ready to mobilize planes, helicopters, and 5,500 troops if necessary. And the Attorney General says primary elections on Saturday will go on as planned, with at least 20 of 27 shelters serving as polling places.
Let's get the very latest right now on this hurricane. Hurricane specialist Michael Lowry standing by.
Hey, Chris, really an unprecedented event here for Hawaii. Never before have we seen a storm not only approach the Big Island from the east, but make landfall in the Big Island as a hurricane, and only just a few hours away from that happening. I want to show you our map right now because not only do we have Iselle that's just a few hours away from the Big Island, but right behind it, another powerful hurricane. This is Hurricane Julio that we're going to be talking about in just a minute here that could threaten Hawaii by early next week. Let's start, though, with the most immediate threat, and that is Iselle. This is the radar, and you can see that the strongest of the winds and the most of the rainfall is over here to the northeast of where the estimated center is here. The center of Iselle is still about, probably about 80 miles or so from the Big Island here in Hawaii. Some of those outer rain bands having moved through earlier, and still seeing a few of those stronger, squallier storms that are moving through the eastern part of the Big Island here. Not seeing a whole lot over here. That's because we're not seeing that because of the very high mountain peaks here that are blocking our radars. But as I mentioned, there are still some rain bands on the western side. We're still, though, probably 3 to 4 hours away from the really heaviest of the rainfall, the strongest of the winds coming on shore here in the Big Island. We're talking probably around 11 p.m. or midnight local time there in Hawaii, where we could be seeing a landfall, most likely on the south part of Hawaii. This is the latest information from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. This was as of the 5 p.m. Hawaii time advisory. Those winds still at 75 miles per hour. The pressure estimated at 992 millibars, and the moving toward the west at 15 miles per hour. Slowed down just a little bit. The forward motion was at 17 miles per hour earlier. Now, there is a Hurricane Hunter plane that just took off within the past half hour or so from Honolulu up here that is en route right now to the system. It'll be interesting to see what they find because, you know, when a storm is over the open ocean right like this one is, you just don't have the observations that you do over land. So it's really the airplane that gives us the wind estimates and the pressure estimates. So stay tuned here with us through the next few hours. We're going to bring the latest to you as we get it from the hurricane hunters. Let's step through the wind impacts over the next few hours. Right now, the center over here and the strongest winds, as I mentioned, up to the northeast of that center. But as we move through the evening into the overnight hours there in Hawaii, we're going to be looking at a center that's probably going to be right down here. So landfall more than likely going to be down in the Kau district and then sort of exiting here on the west side as we move into the overnight and very early morning hours there. But notice the wind orientation from the east or from the northeast, and that's going to be bump up against these very, very high mountain peaks. We're talking about 14,000 foot mountain peaks, and anytime you get moist flow up a mountain, especially on the windward side, so on the upslope side, on the east facing side, on the southeast facing side, that's going to enhance the rainfall, and we're still calling for up to a foot or more of heavy rainfall in the mountains, and that's just going to trickle down and going to cause some flash flooding concerns. So that is the primary impact from the storm, secondary to the winds. But the winds, nevertheless, I mean, even if you're not talking 75-mile-per-hour winds, if you're talking 60-mile-per-hour winds, that's a significant wind event for the island of Hawaii, there in the south part of the archipelago. All right, going through the overnight hours, the storm, maximum winds of the storm, really the tropical storm force winds extend about 150, 200 miles to the north of the center. So Maui, you're already seeing tropical storm force wind gusts there in Maui County. Into the morning hours, we're going to be dealing with tropical storm force winds. You are under a tropical storm warning up there. I know a lot of our focus this evening has been on the Big Island, and then even into Kauai and up into parts of Oahu, we're going to be dealing with those tropical storm force winds into the afternoon hours tomorrow, and then finally pulling away in the evening. Now, let's talk a little bit about the coastal flooding threat. The good news here is the storm surge threat we expect to be low. And the reason for that is because of the coastal geography here. The ocean floor, you got very, very rocky coast here, but the ocean drops off very, very quickly here. So you're going from the rocky coast here to about 10 to 15,000 foot deep ocean. That's a significant amount of water, but that reduces the storm surge threat. We are going to be dealing with a very high wave threat, and so we're still calling for coastal flooding here on the Big Island of Hawaii. This is the wave forecast. We're calling, though, for 15 to 25 foot waves. This is offshore. As you get closer to shore, those waves are going to be more on the order of 10 to 15 feet. So the bottom line here along the east-facing open exposed coastline into Hilo Bay, we're really talking 3 foot to maybe 6 feet of coastal flooding. All right, that's it for now. Let's go back to the studio with Nick and Chris. Guys, back to you.
Michael Lowry, thank you. And Storm Tracker Jim Cantore has been monitoring conditions on the Big Island all day long.
And he has our report right now from Hilo. Jim?
Well, for the time being here in Hilo, the rain has ended, but we are far from over with this thing. Iselle has not made landfall on the Big Island yet, but it is going to, we think, a little bit later on. Well, we've got the break, though, and the ceilings have lifted a little bit. We can see across Hilo Bay, and obviously looks like a wash tub out there. But once you get away from the protection of the seawall, there are some monster waves on the other side of the bay here. And some of these, I was just talking to a gentleman who came by, and he said, Jim, you know, we're up 75 feet. And he's actually got water from the waves spraying up 75 feet under his deck. So that is absolutely incredible when you think about the spray up that's going on with some of these waves. But we told you that was going to be one of the byproducts, certainly, of Hurricane Iselle. Now, we are also going to see some flooding, I think. Even though it's not raining here, that doesn't mean it's not raining up in the mountains, because all this wind and very moist air is being forced upslope. And as it's forced upslope, that mountain is having to squeeze out the moisture in an abundance. So we are getting some situations here, certainly where we're going to see this rain continue to pile up. Plus, we're talking about some power outages. We haven't gusted that hard here, maybe 40 miles per hour where I'm standing, but so far we're below tropical storm force in the sustained winds, and at least right now we are below tropical storm force in the gusts, and hopefully it'll stay that way for a while. But again, the worst part of this storm has not come at us yet. We think that's going to be over the next 2 to 6 hours. So again, after the sun goes down, some of the worst weather certainly expected here on the Big Island, which is when we expect that landfall as well, a historic landfall, whether it be a tropical storm or a hurricane. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Jim. Right now, it is a hurricane, a Category 1. Will it remain a hurricane before it makes landfall? That is the question that we're pondering right now. Continuing also to watch live pictures from Hilo.
And regardless if it's a hurricane or a tropical storm, there will be impacts. Yeah. Strong winds, high surf expected. The Big Island under a hurricane warning right now. And we are monitoring this storm tonight for you here on the Weather Channel. Stay with us.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees with showers in the area. Overnight, mostly cloudy, low 77. Winds light and variable. Friday. Thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Found my true love, living in a sweet dream.
What matters most should always come first. That's why whole grain is first in every General Mills Big G cereal, and why we never use high fructose corn syrup. General Mills, goodness first.
Here's to the man who truly is the best of us.
Who really has the key to the city? With best-in-class payload and best-in-class cargo capacity and an unsurpassed powertrain warranty, you run the town. The all-new Ram ProMaster. Guts, glory, Ram.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
Get $37 entire house installation plus free pad upgrade when you buy Stainmaster Carpet and Pad at Lowe's.
Check.
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
At PetSmart, we believe pets make us better people. They inspire us to remember things like life begins at 5:01 and when to choose our battles. For over 25 years, the pet-loving associates at PetSmart have helped you create more moments like these while giving back to the community, saving over 5 million lives and transforming unlikely places into dog parks. At PetSmart, we're in it to create more moments like these every day. PetSmart, inspired by pets.
With Crizal No Glare lenses, neither water, nor scratch, nor smudge, nor glare of night can keep you from the clearest vision possible. And Crizal has ESPF 25 to protect your eyes from the damaging rays of the sun. Crizal. Live life in the clear.
Okay, ladies. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got this.
Oh, no, I'll get it.
Let me get it. I don't want you to pay for this.
It's not happening, honey.
Let her get it. She got her safe driving bonus check from Allstate last week, and it's her treat.
What about a tip?
Oh, here's one. Hit an Allstate agent.
Nice.
Switch today and get 2 safe driving bonus checks a year for driving safely, only from Allstate. Call 866-788-0900 now.
Here we go. Hold on, man. Is that a leak up there? That's a drip. Now that's a leak.
That is a leak.
And if you don't have Allstate Renters Insurance, game over.
Protect your valuables from things like water damage for as low as $4 a month when you add renter's insurance to your Allstate auto policy. Call 866-788-0900 now. And if you're a safe driver, you can save up to 45%.
Just a few more ways Allstate is changing car insurance for good.
Call an Allstate agent and get a quote now.
When I had my first migraine, I was lucky. That sounds crazy, I know, but my mom got migraines, so she knew this would help. Excedrin migraine starts to relieve my pain in 30 minutes, plus sensitivity to light, sound, even nausea. Excedrin migraine works.
Welcome back. We are continuing to monitor live pictures out of Hilo, Hawaii, as the waves seem to be on the increase. The rain has certainly been on the increase. It's sort of been off and on. Earlier we had quite a bit, and now it's beginning to come back just a little bit.
And the main part of this storm is still offshore. And keeping that in mind, while the conditions have not been too impressive or too scary, if you will, there have already been reports of some water washing over some roads, also some trees down as well. So hopefully that's not an indication of what's to come. And there's still time before this storm makes landfall, either as a hurricane or as a tropical storm. So there is still at least some time for this to weaken. Hopefully that's what's going to happen. Let's go to the latest right now.
It still has some distance to go. The current location about 95 miles east-southeast of Hilo. And it's got these winds of 75 miles per hour in the center, so it's still a hurricane moving toward the west at 15 miles per hour. And on this course, we will continue to monitor it moving into the Big Island here during the overnight and early morning hours, and then staying tropical storm strength as it emerges, and then probably staying a tropical storm as it moves south of the other islands, at least the center. But that, doesn't mean that we're not going to see impacts on all of those islands.
Yeah, but we will see at least the potential for some very heavy rain, possibly some flooding on the Big Island. There is still time for this storm before it moves on. Hopefully it will weaken.
So we are joined on the phone right now by Eric Lau. He's a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Honolulu. Eric, we so much thank you for taking time out from your day to talk with us. Tell us a little bit about the things that you're really concentrating on right now.
Right now we're concentrating on the center of the storm. It's making its way slowly towards the Big Island, and how it's going to be impacted by the terrain of the Big Island. As you know, there's two big mountains on the island at 14,000 feet, and how that, when the system passes over the Big Island, how it's going to affect the storm as it moves through. Especially with winds going through the saddles and around the mountains, you're going to be looking at some accelerations through the saddles, and also downsloping winds onto the leeward side. So that's kind of some things we're keeping an eye on as the system progresses westward.
And Eric, we know that this is a unique situation as far as the activity of tropical storms and hurricanes in Hawaii, especially one coming from this direction. Because this is so rare, what are you using as kind of a rule of thumb, or what are you basing your forecasts on? Is there anything you're looking back on and trying to maybe apply to this situation?
It's very difficult to, since we do not have much historical records on a type of system like this moving in from the east. So right now we're heavily relying on our numerical models and, just basic general knowledge of tropical cyclone forecasting.
And Eric, because of the lack of hurricanes in this area, obviously, perhaps a lot of people have not really experienced the brunt of a hurricane there. What would you advise them to be thinking about right now?
Right, so we want to remind all the residents within Hawaii to, heed the guidance of emergency management and make sure they stay prepared, because this is an event that, unprecedented. We want to make sure everybody's prepared for strong winds, heavy rains, and coastal inundations. So, we want to make sure everybody keeps their families safe and their loved ones safe, and, make it through the storm okay.
All right. And we are keeping your fingers crossed for you folks there in Hawaii. Thank you so much, Eric Lau, there with the National Weather Service.
We certainly do appreciate that. Now, we are going to continue our coverage with Hurricane Iselle as it gets closer and closer to the Big Island. Let's go to Hurricane Specialist Michael Lowry right now. For Michael, what are you be talking about coming up?
Yeah, Chris, look, there's a Hurricane Hunter, a Air Force plane that took off from Honolulu just about half an hour ago. And they're flying into the storm right now. They're on the west side of it. Coming up next hour, we're going to have a brand new tool to show you the latest information live from this plane. We've never shown this on air on the Weather Channel. You're going to stay around for that in the next hour or so.
Hurricane coverage is brought to you by State Farm. When nature strikes, State Farm is there to get you to a better state.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
I'm Creek Stewart, Weather Channel survival expert. Every Sunday night, we're taking 3 regular guys deep into the woods.
Are you serious?
Where we'll teach them not just to survive,
Joe makes fire,
but how to truly live.
Look at this caveman.
Show yourself what you're made of on Weather Channel Survival Sundays. At 9, it's So You Think You'd Survive. Then at 10, Fat Guys in the Woods. Premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Are you ready? Off the couch, into the weather.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees with showers in the area. Overnight, mostly cloudy, low 77. Winds light and variable. Friday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Daddy, this is Blair. He booked this room with Priceline Express deals and saved a ton.
I got everything I wanted. I always do.
He seemed nice.
When your favorite food starts a fight, fight back fast with Tums. Relief that neutralizes acid on contact and goes to work in seconds. And now, try great tasting Tums Chewy Delights. Yummy.
Ours is a world of passengers. The red eyes. The transfers.
Well, that's kid number 3.
The co-pilots. All sitting, trusting, waiting for a safe arrival. Introducing the all-new Subaru Legacy, designed to help the driver and you care for the passenger in them. The Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
Steamer Carpet Cleaning is certified by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America for a cleaner, healthier home.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Comcast presents the Community Back to School Bash. Help the most vulnerable kids in Palm Beach County's Human Services System get ready to succeed in school. Your contributions will make the difference in the lives of thousands of children. Last year, the Bash provided school supplies to over 11,000 kids. To make a much-needed donation, please visit communitybacktoschoolbash.org. Help make back to school a positive experience for disadvantaged children.
Promo code TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
I love my job.
Vistaprint.com.
Right now, Hawaii is in the path of 2 severe storms. Our own Jim Cantori is live from the islands tracking this rare threat. Keep it here on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back as we continue our live coverage here on Hurricane Iselle. You're looking at pictures out of Hilo, Hawaii. You can see some of those gusty winds in the outer squalls. I already saw winds gusting to 30 miles per hour there in Hilo Bay, but the worst weather still about 3 to 5 hours away. That'll be approaching you there on the eastern side of the Big Island coming up here in a little bit. All right, let's get you updated on what's going on with Iselle. Tell you what, an unprecedented event that's ongoing and occurring here as we move through the overnight hours, Eastern time, late night hours there locally in Hawaii. I want to start and show you this map. These are notable hurricanes across Hawaii over the past 50 years or so. Hurricane Dot in 1959 as a Category 1 impacted Kauai, and then there was Iwa in 1982, and then Iniki. Of course, who could forget Iniki, the very powerful Category 4 hurricane that approached from the south in 1992. But over the past 50 years, really in the historical record, nothing here. No direct hurricane strikes on the Big Island of Hawaii. We have a storm that's moving from east to west here that'll be making landfall more than likely in the next, as I mentioned, 3 to 5 hours in the Big Island there. All right, let's get you up to speed on what's happening with Iselle. This is the latest information that we have gotten in from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. We'll get a new advisory within the hour. You want to stay tuned for that. Also, hurricane hunters are headed out there right now, so we got a lot going on this evening. All right, those winds still estimated at 75 miles per hour. The pressure at 992 millibars, moving toward the west at 15 miles per hour, so a little more slowly than earlier. I want to show you the wind gusts right now on the Big Island of Hawaii, and then actually further north into parts of Maui County. We have seen tropical storm wind gusts, but keep in mind that some of these observations that you're seeing further to the north and even over the Big Island here are in areas of elevation. So the higher you go up in the atmosphere, the stronger the winds are. So they're not necessarily representative of what's going on right at the surface. But you can see wind gusts in Hilo Bay, 32 miles per hour. Those winds will continue to pick up in the next few hours, and conditions really deteriorating here as we move into the late night into the early morning hours there in Hawaii. Here is our radar right now, and you can see that just shield of rainfall that's going to be moving onshore, and once it gets toward the much taller mountains here along the central part of the Big Island, the Twin Peaks there, 14,000-foot peaks that we're talking about. So anytime you take the warm, moist flow from the ocean, you lift it up, it's going to enhance the rainfall on the windward side. So east-facing, southeast-facing slopes, that's where the heaviest rainfall is going to be. The center, it's a little hard to see where it is right here, but it's right just to the south and to the west of that area of heaviest rainfall. And as I mentioned, that really not coming on shore for another several hours. Now, let's talk about what's going on with this storm, because I tell you what, earlier it looked like it was weakening a little bit, but it didn't. It actually held steady and maybe even strengthened just a little bit. But it has been battling some dry air at the mid-levels of the atmosphere. Here's our water vapor picture. The orange colors over to the west, that is that dry air, but it's sort of wrapped in this envelope of moisture, and that's protected it from weakening. There are some stronger winds too. Now, once the center moves over the very high terrain here, we expect it to disrupt the circulation some, and it should weaken as it gets toward the west side of the island. More than likely, it's going to skirt here on the south side. So it's hard to say at this point, but looking like landfall more in the Kau district and then exiting off the Kona coast as we move into the morning hours there locally. But look here to the east. This is another powerful hurricane just to the east of Iselle. I tell you what, guys, this is, I can't ever remember seeing two hurricanes lined up like this, headed directly for the islands there. Here's what it looks like on the visible satellite picture. It's difficult to see where the center is because it's hidden underneath these very tall, high cirrus clouds. But let's zoom here to the east, and the sun is now setting in the Central Pacific. But look at this, a textbook, very powerful, what we call a major hurricane in terms of the winds. The winds over 111 miles per hour, we call those hurricanes major. This is Julio. So let's talk a little bit about Julio. This could be a threat later on into the weekend, into early next week. Winds 115 miles per hour, pressure 966 millibars, moving toward the west at 16 miles per hour. And you can see the forecast. The good news is we expect it to move over much cooler ocean temperatures and then perhaps threaten the northern islands there. Kauai, you are in the left side of the cone. But Chris and Nick, there is a NOAA jet out there collecting information in the atmosphere. That's going to go into computer models, hopefully settle the forecast down a little bit, and that track forecast coming into focus. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Michael Lowry.
And we're going to be right back here from Storm Tracker Jim Cantore and Reed Timmer as well.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under cloudy skies. Overnight, mostly cloudy, low 77. Winds light and variable. Friday. Thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is extended live coverage of Hurricane Iselle, the storm hitting Hawaii for what is a rare and a very serious event.
And we are monitoring live feeds across the islands. Storm tracker Jim Cantore is in Hilo, where some of the strongest winds and tallest waves are expected.
And guys, we are definitely watching this from the balcony now. We've kind of moved inland a little bit, but we can get a pretty good perspective of what's going on out there over the bay, where winds are gusting over 30 miles per hour. And of course, the worst of this is yet to come. We have not had the worst of this on the Big Island yet. Trust me, but we got some problems, and I'll tell you about those coming up.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
And we are tracking Hurricane Iselle. Hello, I'm Nick Walker.
And I'm Chris Warren. People in Hawaii haven't experienced anything like this since 1992, when Hurricane Iniki caused major damage on the island.
Now, Iniki was a much stronger storm than Iselle, but Iselle is still a severe weather event, and tonight, shelters are open. The National Guard is on standby.
And here's the latest just now into the Weather Channel news desk on Hurricane Iselle. Red Cross telling us people flowing now into storm shelters on Hawaii's Big Island.
And the governor assuring us that the state can recover from Iselle and respond to Julio at the same time. Meanwhile, the National Guard sends the bulk of its aircraft to the U.S. West Coast to prevent storm damage.
And right now we've only heard of some minor damage reports, mostly trees down, blocking some roads. The power company there says there are confirmed power outages on parts of the Big Island.
The Weather Channel Jim Cantore is on the Big Island in Hilo tonight, and with some trees down already, Jim, that can't bode well for the folks there are on the Big Island tonight.
No, and this is the time where people need to just basically hunker down and stay home. I mean, we've repositioned ourselves out of harm's way. We did what the mayor asked us to do, and we'll be able to broadcast. We're inside. We got power. We'll be able to look at some of the data here to give it to you as night falls. I mean, what we're going to see, obviously, the trees behind me here. We can light those up for you. But Chris, you mentioned the trees down. There is a portion of Route 11 that's completely blocked because of the trees down. So we've had some good gusts. All right, and all it takes, especially with some of these soft pines here, is about 40, 50 miles per hour. We've got the power out as well in 2 communities, and we expect that to get worse. Again, folks, as I said at the top of the hour, we have not gotten the worst part of this storm yet. That's still a couple hours, maybe even more away as we go on through the night tonight. All right, if you watched us a little earlier on tonight, I told you Reed Timmer was here, my good buddy, who, as you know very well, has been chasing tornadoes for many, many years. We put him on hurricane duty out here on the Big Island, and Reed is down earlier on looking at some huge monster waves. Reed, tell us about where you've gone from since you left me about an hour ago.
Here's 132.
Are we having trouble with Reed, guys?
Hello?
Okay. Can we see his feed by any chance? Even without hearing him, can we see his feed by any chance? Because I can talk over that. Okay, so go ahead and pop his feed up. You can see the big area of enhancement there, which is still offshore the Big Island, and that's exactly my case in point. We have not dealt with that yet. That is still ready to roll on, and here you can see Reed's stream. He'll talk to us a little bit later on, but he was up on the west side of the bay. Now, parts of the west side of the bay are unprotected from the seawall, so there are waves over there crashing 15, 20 feet. Waves, and some of these are running straight up the cliffs. A gentleman came by and showed me some video, and this stuff was spraying up about 75 feet. So it's pretty amazing. Now remember, just like in the United States, or should I say, this is the United States, just like in the mainland of the United States, we are going to basically run in and out of stream video, because when we have a good signal, we'll be able to give it to you. When we have not so good a signal, we're not going to be able to give that to you. But I was talking to Reed earlier on text, and he was telling me he's actually heading south toward Kona and down toward Volcano National Park to try and get in a position to intercept the center of circulation. So we're going to be on the northeast side, potentially even worse, if you will. But we will see what happens with this thing as it moves ashore. And, of course, we've got big problems, guys, in terms of what we're going to see happen once all that moisture gets banging up against the mountains. So we're on the windward side of this. We may get in some places 15 inches of rain. Well, on the downwind side, which will be the west side of Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea, we will see, of course, maybe no rain. But they may get some strong gusty winds, and that is a big concern. This is really uncharted territory. It's unprecedented here. I want to bring in our hurricane specialist, Michael Lowry, to talk about this. Michael, usually we'd be talking about storm surge here if we were back on the mainland, especially with a slope that's faced like this, but we have a slope that's faced like this. So it's a very, very deep ocean, very, very quick drop-off. Surge isn't the problem here, but the waves are, aren't they?
You're precisely right, Jim. Yeah, and look, the bottom line is if you live there on the Big Island, we're still talking about possible coastal flooding. They're advertising 1 to 3 feet of storm surge, right. But then you're talking about, as you mentioned, the waves on top of that, and so we could see that coastal flooding as high as 6 feet in some of those exposed areas. Jim, I want to start with this map here that shows you where the hurricane hunters took off just about within the past hour from Honolulu. They're flying into this right now, and it'll be really interesting to see what they find. They are our eyes in the sky. We don't have information or data within the storm as they go in there. They estimate what the winds are, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not this has weakened at all, stayed steady state. We're going to have all of that information for you live coming up here within the hour. Stay tuned for that. All right, here are the current wind gusts in Hawaii, and take these with a grain of salt because some of these are at elevation. So the higher up you go, generally up to about a few thousand feet, the higher the winds are going to be. So not necessarily always representative of what's happening at the surface. But here in Hilo, where Jim is, wind gusts to 40 miles per hour. Those winds are going to pick up quite a bit on the Big Island as we move in through the next few hours. These are some of the other wind reports. So generally tropical storm force wind gusts and lesser sustained winds. All of the weather really to the northeast of where the center is. Here's our radar right now. The center of circulation is actually well to the east of where you're seeing this area of a shield of rainfall. All of this, though, going to be moving toward the west, and once these northeasterly to easterly winds hit up against the very high mountains here in the central part of Hawaii, that's going to lift all of that warm, moist air up from the ocean into the atmosphere. That's going to enhance the rainfall on the windward side, so on the east-facing, southeast-facing slopes of those very, very tall mountains. We could still see some rainfall on the western side, not quite as much as what we're thinking is going to be over here. In general, we're thinking up to a foot of rainfall, maybe even higher in some of the higher terrain areas. So it's really the concern for me, the most immediate concern from this hurricane is going to be the rainfall. But hey, let's not forget about the winds here. We just haven't seen this type of wind event on the Big Island really in recorded history. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few hours. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Michael. And we are going to continue live all night here on the Weather Channel with our coverage of Hurricane Estelle.
How about over there?
What does it mean to have an unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz? What does it mean to drive as far as you want for up to 3 years and be covered? It means your odometer is there to record the memories. During the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales event, now through September 2nd, you'll get complimentary prepaid maintenance and may qualify for a 2-month payment credit, only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
So this board gives me rates on Progressive Direct and other car insurance companies?
Yes.
But you're Progressive and they're them?
Yes.
But they're here?
Yes.
Are you?
There?
Yes.
No.
Are you them?
I'm me.
But the lowest rate is from them?
Yes.
So them's best rate is?
Here.
So where are them?
Aren't them here?
I already asked you that.
When?
Feels like a while ago.
You want to take it from the top?
Rates for us and them. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
I'm Creek Stewart, Weather Channel survival expert. Every Sunday night, we're taking 3 regular guys deep into the woods.
Are you serious?
Where we'll teach them not just to survive, but how to truly live.
Show makes fire. Fat Guys in the Woods, premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Off the couch, into the weather.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under cloudy skies. Overnight, mostly cloudy, low 77. Winds light and variable. Friday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now, Hawaii is in the path of 2 severe storms. Our own Jim Cantori is live from the islands tracking this rare threat. Keep it here on the Weather Channel.
What makes Florida's natural orange juice taste so uniquely fresh and delicious? Is it the rich Florida soil or the perfect blend of sunshine, rain, and temperature? Maybe it's the fact that Florida's natural oranges are never imported. They're raised right here in Florida and passed with care from our hands to yours. 100% pure, 100% Florida.